Coming up in the news, it's day 2 of the Ministry of Works tour on Grand Bahama. Also, the Grand Bahama Port Authority asking residents to stop indiscriminate dumping. And here are the powerful story of a breast cancer survivor. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Bahamas, I'm Shashina Wolf-Parkinson. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news, the Minister of Works wrapping up a 2-day visit to Grand Bahama today. This morning, Minister Sears and delegation headed west and were able to tour the new administrative complex and the new junior high school that has been a source of some frustration as they are both still under construction. Our Megan Shepard was there.
Day 2 of the infrastructural tour led by the Minister of Works and Utilities, the Honorable Alfred Sayers, beginning in the city of Freeport at the Garnet Lavarity Justice Center and at the Freeport Post Office. The minister having a brief opportunity to hear firsthand from contractors about the work that has been carried out on the buildings in recent years. Then it was on to the 8 Mile Rock community, where the delegation also got an update on the administrative complex that is still under construction and which is expected to house a police station and magistrates court. Member of Parliament for West Grand Bahama and Bimini, the Honorable Obadiah Wilshcombe, also a part of the delegation.
The bottom line is we wanted to ensure that we had a state-of-the-art administrative complex that will house all of government facilities. It's also an economic issue because if everything is taken to Freeport, then the economy will not grow. So it's an economic stimulant. It is to cause for further growth and for the western end of Grand Bahama, and in particular 8 Mile Rock.
Minister Wilshcombe noting that the current administrator's office will eventually transition into a cultural center. The Holmes Rock Junior High School also a part of the familiarization tour. Minister Wilshcombe giving this update.
During the Christie administration in 2016, we broke ground for this facility. I believe it's going to be productive and progressive. We wanted it to be a state-of-the-art. We wanted it to be a prime example of the new state of education in the global community, not just in the Bahamas.
And as to when the community in the West can expect to see these major buildings officially opening their doors, Director of Works, Melanie Roach.
With regards to the school facility, our aim is to have both the building and the external works completed by June, the end of June of 2022. With regards to the administrative complex, there's some financial issues that need to be worked out. As you may or may not be aware, that is a public-private partnership, and we're working with the private partnership as well as the Ministry of Finance to establish what is the balance of funding required to complete the building and what is the time frame required to complete the building.
Now, a major concern for the local Ministry of Works team is their current maintenance compound in the Jonestown community. Tony Bannister noting that there are 15 members of the team who have been displaced since 2017. Minister Sayers says that they plan to act as soon as possible.
They don't have workspaces for the carpenters, the plumbers, the maintenance technicians, and the landscapers, which are operators. And we don't have a current space to house our machines. And so right now they're working on an on-call basis, where they come into the office and check their respective pouches for work orders, and then they're just deployed to site.
And as you can see, that facility was condemned on 2 occasions. Well, now it's on our watch. We're not looking back. We have to make sure that we establish a workshop so that the preparatory work, the carpentry work that is necessary for restoration and maintenance is done.
Overall, he is extremely pleased with the quality of work as well as the level of inspections being carried out in the Western District. However, he says the tour has given him a sense of urgency to have a number of the projects completed.
The tour has been one which has given us a sense of extreme urgency because we see how vital these projects are, and we're asking the contractors, where possible, to accelerate the work.
NS Network News.
And the Minister of Works and Utilities, along with other government officials on Grand Bahama and its local team on a two-day tour of capital works to the infrastructure within its portfolio. The two-day tour kicking off in East Grand Bahama, and our Megan Shepard was also there, and she has this full recap.
The Minister of Works and Utilities, the Honorable Alfred Sayers, along with a delegation, including the Parliamentary Secretary, Bacchus Roll, the Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Ginger Moxey, Member of Parliament for East Grand Bahama, Kwesi Thompson, and other stakeholders in the Ministry of Works, touring key infrastructure in the Eastern District. The Minister was able to meet with a number of stakeholders at the various stops, including the President of the University of the Bahamas Northern Campus. Minister Sayers notes that he is pleased with the plans for the campus's redevelopment.
A lot of work has been done in terms of clearing the building and repurposing the building to establish a center of research around sustainability and resilience and the generation in time of new knowledge that will distinguish Grand Bahama as a center of research and education.
Continuing in the east, the delegation also toured the docks in Water Key. From there, the team took a second ferry to Sweetings Key.
As you know, the dock at that key was destroyed, and a design for its reconstruction is being undertaken, and work will start with the construction of that dock. Also, we visited the McLean Town Clinic, and then we proceeded to Sweetings Key. And you know, Sweetings Key is, for me, when I served as Minister of Education, I had to deal with the tragedy that occurred there with the students from Martintown Primary School. But it was sad to see that the dock that I had used and remember quite well is really destroyed. We also visited the school, and again to see the devastation that has been done to the educational infrastructure.
Over on Sweetings Key, the team met with local government officials to get an update on the redevelopment to date. Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Ginger Moxey, expressing gratitude to the local and international non-governmental organizations that have partnered with the government to assist the Key thus far.
They have helped us so much, and without them we're not sure where we'd be. As for Sweetings Key, the NGOs stepped up big time and actually did most of the work that's been done there. So we intend to continue the partnership. We know that there's a lot of work still to be done, and we're hoping that with the programs that we have initiated, they will continue to be a part of that.
Also included in the tour, the destroyed seawall in High Rock and the destroyed preschool, which officials say residents would like to see repurposed into a community center. The Member of Parliament for East Grand Bahama, Kwesi Thompson, noting that he is committed to working on the redevelopment of his constituency. He gave this update on the final stop for the day, the proposed site for the new comprehensive school in High Rock.
That is a very important project for East Grand Bahama. We have, the previous government had put some funding in the budget for it, and so again, I'm very pleased that we are able to come and look at the site, and then we will be advocating for that project to continue because it is a very important project for East Grand Bahama. We were able to see Sweetings Key, and again he was able to see the situation for himself, again, which I'm very pleased by, that he was able to see it. They are still in need. There is still tremendous need for the people in Sweetings Key. And so we will continue to be an advocate, and we will also continue to work with this government to assist in any way that we can.
Megan Shepard, SEDNS Network News.
Well, President of the University of the Bahamas Northern Campus, Dr. Ian Strawn, says that he is pleased that the Minister of Works and Utilities, the Honorable Alfred Sayers, made it a priority to visit the Northern Campus. He shared these plans for the Eastern Campus going forward.
Those plans involve really dedicating this space that was so negatively impacted by climate change to the study of the environment, the marine environment, the land, the water, and to issues of climate change. And so this is going to become a marine and environmental science field research station. It will have a residential component so that researchers, whether they be local or international, can stay in the field and sleep over and have all of the amenities they would need, roughing it a little, but not roughing it too much.
Dr. Strawn notes that the second floor of the building received little to no damage during the passage of Hurricane Dorian, and thankfully those rooms will be able to be utilized in a meaningful way.
We have classrooms and a laboratory, and those will be expanded because we want UB North to be a STEM campus. We want UB North to be a place within the university system where you can study environmental science, marine science, where you can do engineering, you can do computer science, you can do atmospheric science. And so that is our push. So we see the storm as an opportunity to sort of refocus, and we've actually had quite a lot of success. So we're going to be announcing some of those grants that we've received very soon for research right now happening on the island of Grand Bahama. And so we're excited about the potential of this space so that we can really become a center for excellence in research in the sciences.
Meantime, the Minister of Grand Bahama also speaking candidly to our ZNS News team about the decision to amend the Special Economic Recovery Zone to allow vehicles imported conditionally duty-free into Grand Bahama and Abaco that they be approved to be transferred anywhere in the Bahamas without prior approval and subsequent payment of customs duties.
What happened was, a couple months ago, we were bombarded by stories of those who have been trying to get their vehicles and just couldn't. And just couldn't because they were, first of all, trying to figure out where they were going to live, what they were going to eat. They didn't have jobs. Some still don't have jobs. And so we felt that it wasn't right that the opportunity to be able to take advantage of the exemption wouldn't be allowed because they did not have the resources at that time. And so you had many who either had their letters in hand, but it would have expired, or you had those who hadn't applied yet because they just don't have it right now. One of the first things that we wanted to do was to not just extend the order, but we wanted to ensure that those who purchased vehicles, because so many people moved to different islands, we wanted to be sure that they were able to move their vehicles from island to island.
Now, all approvals that were previously issued for importation of replacement vehicles under that order and have not been used by the applicant may now be applied towards the importation of a vehicle duty-free. She says the response so far has been overwhelming.
Just being throughout the community over the past few months, you get to hear it all, you see it all, you recognize things that I consider sometimes to be easy fixes, and so that's what you do. If there is a need, and we know that we can do something about it that would make things better for people, then we get to it.
Right away.
Right away.
In other news, the Keep Grand Bahama Clean Committee using the month of October to highlight the importance of keeping the island clean, green, and pristine. But there's two main problems. Indiscriminate dumping and littering remains a challenge. Tonight, they're asking residents to discontinue this illegal activity and to do their part to return the island back to its beautiful state. Jamila Mizik has this report.
Toilets, refrigerators, pots, pans, wires, tires, furniture, and even an old car. All the evidence of illegal indiscriminate dumping right here through a track road in the Chesapeake area. Chairperson for the Keep Grand Bahama Clean Committee, Nikira Wilchcombe, says indiscriminate dumping and littering remains a major concern here on the island, and a number of concerned residents are speaking out about the vexing issue.
We wanted to highlight this very vexing issue because it's impacting all of us. A lot of persons believe out of sight, out of mind, and so rather than going to the Pine Ridge landfill, even as a homeowner, to dispose of their debris for free, they choose to look at these unlit, deserted areas so that they can dump debris and indiscriminately dump, and it's a shame.
Wilchcombe says they're also seeking the assistance of police in addressing the problem.
We want to see, obviously, Grand Bahama come back in so many areas, and in dumping and hurting our environment certainly impacts our economy. It certainly impacts the health of our people, and so we want to send a clarion call to residents, to business owners, whether you be contractors or restaurateurs, anyone who wants to do this type of practice, to stop. We are so serious about this issue. We've met recently with the Royal Bahamas Police Force at the highest level just to really, emphasize to them how important this issue is to us, because we think it's criminal. And you'll see today in this particular setting and this location, which is a representation of many areas in Grand Bahama, unfortunately, that may be undeveloped, where people are choosing to dispose of their debris in such a manner.
And she's encouraging residents to dispose their debris at the landfill.
We encourage persons to make the effort. We know that sometimes you may consider that it's a trek to go to the Pine Ridge landfill, but if you truly love your island, if you truly love your community, you will make that sacrifice and go, where it's necessary to dispose of debris properly. Because one of the things we also like to do is sometimes when we find these, spots, indiscriminate dumping sites, is to also look through the debris. So be careful, be warned that you can possibly be found out as a result of the investigations that we do as well.
Customer Service Manager at the Grand Bahama Development Company, Christine van der Linde, says Lusco is working feverishly to get out as quickly as they can to clean up areas as complaints come in.
You can go on www.lusco.org and it will give you all the information that you need. You can call 350-9316. And then, we'll have someone there to answer your call. Or you can call 350-9000 and ask for the complaint line for DEFCO. And we'll be happy to come out and look at what you are complaining about to try and solve the matter.
Jamila Mizik, ZNS Network News.
Stay with us. We'll be back right after this.